Hey, this is me, Myron Golden. Too many people are trapped in the prison of other people's opinions. Too many people are carrying the weight of relationships that no longer serve their destiny. Let me tell you something bold and undeniable. You were not created to chase people. You were created to chase purpose. You were not designed to be a prisoner to their validation. You were designed to walk in the authority of your own calling. And until you release what's trying to pull you backwards, you will never be free to step fully into what's pulling you forward. Your purpose is personal. It is not something that can be fully explained, justified, or packaged for others to approve. It is a unique assignment designed specifically for you, written into the fabric of your being before you even took your first breath. Too often, people waste precious years trying to fit into boxes that were never built for them, chasing validation from people who don't even understand the blueprint of their life. When you live trying to gain approval from others, you abandon the sacred responsibility of becoming who you were created to be. The weight of their opinions becomes a prison, and while you are busy asking for permission to pursue your calling, your potential begins to wither away in silence. Your purpose is a private contract between you and the one who gave you life. It was not issued to the crowd, nor does it require a committee to sign off on it. Other people can witness it, they can be inspired by it, but they are not qualified to define it. They do not have the vision for your journey, nor do they carry the burden of your assignment. What often paralyzes people is the need to be understood, but your purpose is not always something others will understand because it was never revealed to them in the first place. If you live waiting for understanding from people who were never given your vision, you will suffocate your own growth in the silence of their confusion. Your purpose is tailored for your gifts, your experiences, your struggles, and even your scars. The lessons you have endured, the challenges you have survived, and the victories you have earned have all been shaping you for the very thing you are meant to do. No one else has walked through your exact path. No one else has carried your exact burdens. And no one else can execute your purpose with the precision you can. When you grasp this truth, you stop competing with people. You stop comparing yourself to them because you realize they are running a race that was never assigned to you. Your purpose is personal because it requires you to trust what is unfolding inside of you, even when what you see around you doesn't yet reflect it. You must trust the process even when the progress seems slow because purpose is not always loud and it is rarely immediate. It is developed in the quiet hours, in the disciplined moments, and the sacrifices made behind the scenes is often invisible to those watching you from the outside. They may doubt you, they may question your direction, but they cannot see the seeds that are growing beneath the surface. Your purpose is personal because the weight of it is something only you can carry. Others may walk with you, but they cannot bear it for you. They cannot make your decisions, they cannot fight your battles, and they cannot take your place. You must be willing to stand alone if necessary, to pursue the thing that sets your soul on fire, even if others walk away. The loneliness you sometimes feel on the journey is not a sign that you are wrong. It is often confirmation that you are being separated for something greater. Your purpose is personal because it is often birthed through pain, through seasons where you were broken, overlooked, and underestimated. It is forged in the fire of disappointment and refined in the moments when you felt like giving up but chose to keep going. Every setback, every closed door, every betrayal has been working together to push you closer to what you were meant to do. When you understand this, you begin to see your struggles differently. You begin to appreciate the storms because they have shaped the strength you now carry. Your purpose is personal because it demands your attention, your discipline, and your commitment. It does not wait for you to feel ready, nor does it beg for you to believe in it. It sits quietly within you, waiting for you to rise to the level of ownership it requires. It grows when you invest in it. It multiplies when you act on it. It thrives when you protect it from the distractions that would seek to diminish it. Purpose is not something you stumble into by accident. It is something you build, something you nurture, something you pursue with intentionality. Your purpose is personal because it is deeply connected to who you are becoming, not just what you are doing. The work is not simply to accomplish tasks or to check boxes. It is to become the person who is capable of carrying the weight of the vision. Purpose demands growth. It requires you to let go of old habits, to confront your fears, to step into rooms you once felt unworthy to enter. It is not just about achieving success. It is about stepping fully into alignment with the identity you were born to embody. Your purpose is personal because it will stretch you beyond your comfort zone and require you to develop skills you never imagined you would need. It will call you to places you never planned to go. It will push you to face challenges you never thought you were strong enough to handle. The road will not always make sense, and it will rarely look the way you expected it to look. But the process will produce a version of you that is more powerful, more focused, and more capable than the one who started the journey. Your purpose is personal because it is tied to the people you are destined to impact. There are lives waiting to be touched by your obedience to your calling. There are problems waiting to be solved by your creativity. There are hearts waiting to be healed by your courage. Your purpose is not simply about you, but it begins with you fully embracing the weight and the responsibility of what you were created to do, regardless of who notices, regardless of who claps, and regardless of who understands. Release dead weight. The weight you carry in life is not always physical. Sometimes it's the emotional burden of people, habits, and mindsets that no longer contribute to your growth. Holding on to people who drain you, environments that limit you, and thoughts that sabotage you will cost you opportunities you are meant to step into. Some of the heaviest loads in life are the ones that aren't visible. They don't show up on a scale, but they weigh on your mind, your focus, your spirit, and your momentum. And until you make the courageous decision to let go of what's slowing you down, you will never truly pick up the pace toward your purpose. Carrying dead weight makes progress exhausting. You wonder why your steps feel heavy, why your passion feels distant, and why your energy is always low. It's because you are investing your life force into things that give you no return. You are fighting battles that are not even yours to fight. You are clinging to people who have already let go of you in their hearts. Dead weight keeps you busy, but keeps you stagnant. You can spend years moving but never advancing because you're dragging what was supposed to be released. You can spend years showing up but never growing because you're connected to what's already expired. There are people in your life who are meant to teach you a lesson but not walk with you forever. There are conversations that once inspired you but now drain you. There are relationships that once aligned but are now out of season. Carrying them out of guilt, obligation, or fear of being alone will delay what you are supposed to build. Sometimes loyalty can become a trap when it's tied to people who are no longer aligned with your direction. You can love people, you can honor your past, but you must also know when to release it. Love does not mean carrying people who have chosen not to grow. Holding on to dead weight creates emotional clutter. It clouds your judgment and distorts your vision. You find yourself hesitating on decisions because you are overthinking how others will feel. You find yourself minimizing your dreams because you're afraid of outgrowing the people around you. Dead weight demands your attention but never contributes to your elevation. It requires your time but offers you no growth. You can't build the future you desire while keeping your hands full of what you should have already put down. Dead weight shows up in the form of mindsets that no longer serve you, the belief that you are not good enough, the thought that you have to stay small to make others comfortable, the fear that taking a step forward will leave you isolated. These are the lies that must be dropped. Carrying outdated thinking into a season that demands expansion will choke your progress. Your mind cannot thrive in new levels while still entertaining old limits. Dead weight in your thinking will keep you rehearsing past failures when you should be rehearsing future possibilities. There are habits that once served you but now sabotage you. Comfort zones that once provided rest now produce complacency. Routines that once provided safety now restrict growth. Dead weight can disguise itself as comfort, but comfort is a dangerous place when it becomes a cage. What's familiar is not always what's fruitful. Sometimes the hardest thing to release is not a person, but a pattern. The routine that made you feel secure yesterday can be the very thing that suffocates your breakthrough today. Dead weight often hides behind your desire to be needed. You continue carrying people and problems because it makes you feel valuable, but in doing so, you neglect the higher version of yourself that you were created to become. When you confuse being needed with being purposeful, you willingly accept burdens that are not assigned to you. You carry their emotions, their chaos, their responsibilities, and call it love, when in reality it is self-sabotage. You become their crutch while your own progress limps along unfinished. Sometimes the dead weight is the guilt you refuse to release. You replay moments where you failed, disappointed others, or made choices that didn't work out. Guilt can chain you to a version of yourself you've already outgrown. Carrying guilt prevents you from walking in confidence because it constantly drags you back into shame. Guilt will keep you apologizing for becoming better, for wanting more, for changing. But progress requires permission to release guilt and to step forward without the weight of who you used to be. Dead weight will convince you that letting go is selfish when in truth, letting go is sacred. You cannot properly steward your purpose while dragging what does not belong in your next season. Dead weight often looks like the people you feel responsible for, the spaces you've outgrown, and the mindsets you've allowed to linger too long. The act of release is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of alignment. It is you choosing to honor where you are called to go more than where you have been stuck. There is a freedom that comes when you finally decide to release dead weight. The mental space that opens, the emotional clarity that returns, and the spiritual energy that rises all begin to multiply when you lay down what you were never meant to carry. Some things must be dropped so you can fly. Some people must be released so you can rise. Some mindsets must be dismantled so you can grow. The next level of your life is not waiting for you to hustle harder. It's waiting for you to release what's been holding you back. Not everyone can go with you. As you begin to rise, as you start to elevate your thinking, your discipline, and your purpose, you will notice that some people around you are no longer aligned with where you are going. Growth has a way of exposing relationships that were built for your past but cannot withstand your future. Some connections were only meant to serve you in one season of life, but many people make the mistake of dragging these expired relationships into the next chapter. The truth is, when you start moving toward your calling, you will find that not everyone has the willingness, the mindset, or the capacity to go where you are being called to go. There will be people who say they support you, but their actions will begin to reveal their discomfort with your growth. Some people loved you when you were average, when you played small, when you stayed in the familiar places where they could understand you. But when you start shifting, when you start elevating, when you start making decisions that disrupt your old patterns, they may not applaud you, they may pull back, they may question your choices, and they may even try to convince you to turn around. It's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you're doing something different. Growth is not always a group activity. Some parts of the journey require solitude. Some parts of the journey will strip you of the attachments you've leaned on for comfort. You will find yourself walking paths where you must depend on your own conviction, your own discipline, and your own vision. It can be painful when the people you thought would walk with you choose to stay behind, but you must understand that elevation demands separation. If you're constantly trying to carry people who refuse to grow, you will eventually compromise your own pace. Not everyone will understand the sacrifices you must make to build something extraordinary. They won't understand why you decline invitations, why you wake up earlier, why you no longer entertain certain conversations. When your vision sharpens, your tolerance for distractions diminishes. Some people will misinterpret this as arrogance, but in reality, it's focus. You can no longer afford to be tied to people who do not share the same hunger, who are content with cycles you are determined to break, who prefer comfort over growth. Some people will resent the new standards you set because your discipline exposes their complacency. Your pursuit of purpose becomes uncomfortable for those who are married to their excuses. They may try to pull you back, not because they truly believe you're going the wrong way, but because your movement challenges their stillness. The longer you stay connected to people who refuse to move, the more you will feel the weight of stagnation. You will feel the drag of trying to pull people toward destinations they were never willing to pursue themselves. The mistake many people make is assuming loyalty means dragging everyone with them. Loyalty does not mean carrying dead weight. Loyalty does not mean stunting your growth to maintain old connections. Loyalty should not cost you your destiny. You can love people without limiting yourself. You can appreciate your past without remaining trapped in it. You can honor old friendships without forfeiting your future. Some doors will only open when you release who you've been trying to hold on to. Not everyone can go with you because not everyone is willing to pay the price required to grow. Some people want the reward, but they will never commit to the routine. Some people want the results, but they refuse to embrace the responsibility. You will outgrow conversations that no longer serve your mindset. You will outgrow environments that no longer feed your ambition. You will outgrow people who are addicted to their comfort zones. The climb requires focus. And you cannot afford to be entangled with those who are committed to standing still. There will come a time when you must make peace with being misunderstood. You must be willing to outgrow the need for constant validation. The higher you climb, the fewer people will be able to relate to your discipline, your vision, and your pace. That is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It is confirmation that you're stepping into territory reserved for those who refuse to settle. The next level of your life requires you to walk with those who inspire your growth, not those who resent it. There are people who will walk with you for a season, and their role will be valuable, but their time will be temporary. Some people were only sent to introduce you to the next step, not to complete the journey with you. Recognizing this does not make you cold. It makes you clear. You can release people without bitterness. You can love from a distance. You can cheer for them without carrying them. Understanding this will protect your focus and preserve your energy for the places you are truly meant to reach. Not everyone can go with you because your assignment is unique. Your path is specifically designed for you. It is shaped by your calling, your gifts, and your capacity. When you realize that your elevation is not a community project, you stop begging people to join you. You stop pleading for support. You stop explaining your decisions to people who were never supposed to understand them. You begin to walk in your authority, fully aware that some people can't handle the altitude you are rising to. Silence and separation bring clarity. In a world filled with noise, opinions, and constant distractions, it can be difficult to hear your own thoughts, to recognize your own desires, and to see your own direction. When you are surrounded by people, conversations, and environments that continuously pull at your attention, you begin to lose touch with the deeper voice within you that knows where you need to go. Sometimes the only way to truly understand your next step is to pull away from the noise, to step back from the crowd, and to embrace the stillness where your own vision can finally rise above the confusion. There are moments in life where silence is not just a break, it is a strategy. Silence gives you space to reflect on what you are doing, why you are doing it, and whether the path you are on still aligns with your purpose. In the silence, you can hear what you've been ignoring. You can finally confront the fears you've been running from. You can listen to the whispers of your potential that have been drowned out by the loud opinions of others. Silence does not mean absence. Silence is where you become present to yourself without the interference of other people's expectation. Separation is often